Did you figure it out?
Family and education.
Yes.
Discussion, debate.
No.
I don't know.
Okay. I'll just go. Okay, so here we are. We're continuing our discussion of religion and cults. I'm going to introduce some ideas here, and then you should have a nice chunk of time. This is by design, right? You being given time in class is by design so that, are you struggling at all? Here I am. Here I am, Lord. Is it I, Lord? I have heard you calling in the night. I will go, Lord, if you lead me. And I can do that because we're studying that because which one of you asked me, like I went home that night and said I had the best comment from a student? One of you asked me if I sang in the church choir. Who was that? Anyway, I went home and my wife and daughter laughed. Okay, anyway. So I will chat. Anyway, my point was that you're being given time intentionally so that if you're struggling at all, here I am to help you. But also, this time, these presentations, these papers are good. They're well done. Now, I know what some of you are doing. You're saying, Mr. Potter thinks our last ones were piles of poo. No, but now I'm actually going to evaluate the quality of your work rather than say, oh, you should have done that. Now it's wahaha, as my character up there. I drew that. I. Okay, anyway. So that is due on the 14th. Today is October the 8th, which means my math tells me that the due date is wrong. Because the 14th would be Monday, yes? You don't have class Monday.
Nope.
You don't have class on Monday, so that should say the 15th. Yeah, 15th. 1 week from today, you have successfully written a 4 to 6, thank you, Jack, a 4 to 6 paragraph paper, or you've created some sort of a slideshow that you will be presenting to the class for bonus credit, or just to me, which is just fine, no problem there. Or you've created a podcast, or you've made a comic book, or you've written a song. Look at all the different ways that you can prove to me that you understand whatever topic that you've chosen. And then there are those of you who've volunteered to tell us about cults. And there's one presentation option. Well, there's two. You standing here or you creating a video of you standing here. Right. And then F plus E, D to the fourth equals 10/11 cry face. Jack could not figure it out. Do we know? You should know. What is that? What is F plus E, D to the fourth equals 10/11 cry face? Yes. That's right. The family and education drop dead due date. D to the fourth. Drop dead due date is Friday. If you are not done by Friday, what you'll be doing Friday is something else so that we're done. We're done. So if you want to avoid that something else, walk in the door done with the family and education. Whether that's just a conversation that you and I need to have because you haven't presented it yet, you need to figure that out. Today is going to be a great day to do that if that's you. Okay. And then it says here, discussions begin soon. Mwahaha, mwahaha. And with each level of mwahaha, it gets more evil. Nothing for you to worry about. This isn't a new assignment. It's just we're going to be talking about various things in class. So we'll rock and roll. Or is there any question on what's up here? You're looking like, I don't know what that is. Again, don't worry about this. Nothing piled on your plate. Great. What is a monopoly? I knew you'd say that. Okay, very good. So there's something about exclusivity. There's one entity that dominates. Is there any example of a monopoly that exists today? Very good. They are considered a monopoly, right? I mean, they own Marvel. They now own the Star Wars franchise. I mean, they just dominate. Okay. What? Disney owns Fox?
Yeah, I think they bought it.
Disney owns Fox. Anyway, okay. Any other example of monopoly? iPhones, maybe. I mean, let's just see. Let's just throw it out there. I'm going to guess that 80% of you in this room own an iPhone. 80%. Let's just see. Raise your hand if you have an iPhone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Alex, are you iPhone? 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Now raise your hand if you don't own an iPhone. And don't be ashamed. You're still welcome here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Am I right? 26 to 6. So 26 out of 32 of you, 26 divided by 32. That's the percentage. Nick, do you own an iPhone?
No.
26 divided by 33. 26 divided by 33 is the percent. Just off. Okay, so is that a monopoly? I mean, it's kind of close. Done for today? Monopoly is, in essence, the only choice. The only choice.
Yeah, you can't consider iPhone a monopoly.
No, absolutely not. And you can't consider Disney a monopoly. But they're so dominant that it's pretty darn close, right? Imagine religious monopolies where there's no choice. You are that religion, period. By law, you must be that religion. In Wisconsin, you have to be a Packer fan. It's the law. Is it? Okay. This is simply a map of Europe in the Middle Ages, and the color dictated what religion you had to be, or you suffered painfully, or you were burned to death, or whatever. So blue is Catholicville. The purple is Lutheranville. The red is Eastern Orthodox. Green is Islamic, and you had to be that religion. Okay, so there's two terms here that I want to introduce to you that are sort of interesting. One is called a dissenter. You're working on the Blue Book essay? It's in that covered. Anyone want to take a shot? What's a dissenter? Who is someone who engages in dissent? Yes. No. Anyone else? Take a shot. What if you're wrong? What if you're wrong? What if you raise your hand and you say something and I say, no, that's not right? Are you forever banished? No, you're not. No, you're not. By the way, Nathan, get out.
Okay.
That was a joke. Anyone? Dissent? Dissent is someone who is in a particular color but does not agree with the teachings of the colored church. So you live in Blueville, but you don't believe that Mary was a virgin, the mother of Jesus. I don't believe that. You are a dissenter. You are not going along with the official teachings of that church. Maybe you live in Green area and you do not believe that you need to pray 5 times a day on a little piece of carpet. You are a dissenter. Why don't you go climb on that pile of sticks over there? And would you put your hands together? Hold still now. Okay. What is heresy then? Heresy. Anyone want to take a shot there? Go ahead.
Believing in like a morphed version of the belief.
Very good. So heresy is another level of dissent. Dissent is, I don't think so. Heresy is, and here's what I think. This is what I actually think. You are a heretic. You are coming up with your own religious beliefs. And they're going counter to the teachings of the official religious beliefs. So by the way, there were people in the Middle Ages, and frankly, there are people that believe this today. And if you believe it today in America, who cares? You're not a heretic. You're not going to get arrested. Nothing's going to happen to you. Believe what you want. You can believe that rock right out there is the creator of all life. Oh, rock. Thank you, rock. and you could gather people every Monday morning and pray to that rock, and nothing will happen to you legally. Now, will you get looked at? Sure. Sorry? What? Yes, of course. People called, all religious prophets were identified as weird, right? That's par for the course, okay? But if you did that at that time in a colored area, for example, if you lived in the blue area, there were people that believed this. They started their own religion. They believed that when Jesus was on the cross, he could have just said no, and he could have flown away and made everything disappear. And they started teaching that, that Jesus could have ended it if he wanted to, and that went counter to the official teachings of the Catholic Church. Who said, no, Jesus was a man. Yes, he was God, but he was also a man. The unique role of Jesus, and so those people were ordered. These heretics were ordered to stop teaching what they were teaching, or they would be kicked out, tortured, executed, etc., etc., etc. Okay. Underneath is a series of small, again, I have to be careful with this word, sects. Groups that broke off from the color. They broke off. There's 4 examples here: Puritans, Shakers, Quakers, and Pilgrims. Now I'm just identify a couple of these. We've all heard of the Pilgrims, right? So Pilgrims are people who lived in the purple area, did not agree with the teachings of the purple area, so said, we're going to go off and start our own color. And they landed at Plymouth, right? They landed in Massachusetts, where they got to color the map, their color. They got to be the ones that burned heretics. See, over here, they were the heretics. They go over here, now they get to burn the heretics. One of the myths that I'm going to attempt to dispel is this idea that when the people from Europe came to America, they were all tolerant. No, they weren't. It's just that over there, they were the bullied, and over here, they were the bullied. They got to burn. Okay. Anyone ever heard of Shakers or Quakers? How many of you eat oatmeal? You're exactly right. That scary guy on the box, that is William Penn, the founder of the Quaker religion. This is sort of fascinating stuff. So often when a group forms their own sect, what they also create is a quick, easy meal so that when the end of days come, they can hide in the caves, eat their meal, and then when everyone else is dead, they can come out full. If any of you have ever had this thing called Frosted Flakes, that's invented by this guy named Kellogg. He was the leader of a sect. Quaker was William Penn, a leader of a sect.
Kellogg is a pretty big brand. It's not just
Oh, definitely. In Ann Arbor, Michigan. Absolutely. I'm sorry, Battle Creek, Michigan. It's absolutely a big brand. So is Quaker Oats. Okay, they started off small. So just one thing, the Quakers, when they had their religious ceremonies, and I'm not trying to mock the Quakers at all, but I'm just telling you that during the religious ceremonies, they would quake with the Spirit of the Lord. They would quake with the Spirit of the Lord, as opposed to the Shakers, who would shake with the Spirit of the Lord. You see? So wouldn't that be awesome if during a test, I would say, all right, everyone, question number 1, who am I? And I would either quake or shake. So you need to know the difference between quaking, look now, quaking and shaking. You see the difference? Look again. Right now, I'm quaking, and now I'm shaking. You see? All right, Jack, quaking or shaking?
Quaking.
Nope, it's shaking. All right. So, all right. Nick, quaking or shaking?
It looks more like a quake.
No, it's a shake. God, you guys, okay, work on it now. Ready? Quaking or shaking? What am I doing? No, I'm shaking. Wow.
Quaking
Quaking or shaking?
like
Okay, what am I doing? I'm quaking. All right, we'll work on this. We'll work on it. One more chance. All right, you. Quaking or shaking? Yes! You see. Okay, very good. All right. Any questions? Awesome. Tests. I've said this already. A group breaks off from the color. They form a small religious group. That's a sect. What they so often do is move. They go somewhere else where they get to be the ones that make a map with their color. Pilgrims did that. The Puritans did that. What happens is some of them engage in other behaviors which changes them from a sect to a cult, which we will visit later on in this class. Okay, a few more slides here, and then you'll have a nice chunk of time. This is sort of a repeat of a map I showed you last week, but again, it's just a map that shows dominant religious groups in certain areas of the country. And if you're like me, you always kind of find where you are and what are the two dominant religious groups. Well, we seem to be either blue or kind of a goldenrod, which doesn't exist down here at all.
It's on the top one.
Maybe.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Lutheran. So a lot of Lutherans in here. If you're uncomfortable with this, then don't do it. But how many Lutherans are in here? Are you Lutheran? Okay, so looks like about a fifth of the class, something like that. And then the other is Catholic. We're a lot of Catholic. Any Catholics in here? Okay. So it looks like, again, about another fifth or so, which means that most of you in this room are not Lutheran or Catholic, which means you're something else, or you're not anything, which is great. Okay, you'll notice that the red area of the South, those are the Baptists, just dominate the South.
Bible Belt.
This is sort of an interesting thing. These are the Church of the Latter-day Saints. You and I know them as Mormons. Okay, they live in Utah.
What do Mormons do?
The same thing everyone else does. Go to work, feed their family,
No, I mean,
fill a
like,
gas tank with gas.
what makes them different?
Oh,
from other religions?
well, I will address that. The Mormons are pretty much seen as a normal religious group today. They're not seen as cultish, although some people do think so. Some people think the Catholic Church is cultish, right? It's in the eye of the beholder. But the Mormons believe a couple things that make others feel uncomfortable. They used to believe in polygamy, but they no longer believe in polygamy. That's out the door. But there's this holy book that many religions believe is true. It's called the Bible, right? The Mormons believe that there's another book, the Book of Mormon. That's a holy book. And that's where other people are uncomfortable. No. The Bible, that's the holy book. And Mormons say, well, this is pretty holy too. And so they're introducing another book as legitimate as the Bible. And if you ever have the opportunity, go see the play, The Book of Mormon, written by the same people who brought you South Park. They wrote a play called Book of Mormon. You'll pee in your pants. You'll laugh so hard, but it is really good. And every other word is the F word. It's kind of amazing. Okay. Really good. Okay. Is there any other color up there? You're looking like, well, what's that? What's green? Green is Methodist. Oh, the Methodists. Yeah. Pennsylvania, parts of southern Wisconsin also have a group that's sort of interesting. And I wonder if any of you have ever seen these people. They ride in horseback, buggies.
Amish.
The Amish. That's right. That's
Mennonites.
Mennonites. Very good. People that are uncomfortable with technology, and so they believe that you need to live a simpler life. And parts of eastern United States. Okay. Just some kind of interesting things about the United States. There are 1,500 what are called denominations. Now, I have not even introduced that term to you yet, but there are 1,500 of them in the United States. What's a denomination? Anyone want to take a shot? Good.
Like, you got big religion, Christianity or something, and then it splits off, or you got like Islam and then Sunni.
So what's a denomination?
I guess like a smaller version.
No. Anyone else? By the way, Nick, are you okay?
Yeah.
You just took a shot. I said you were
I
wrong.
can take another
Your
shot.
ego is not shattered.
Well, no, it is shattered.
No.
I can take another shot.
Well, let's give someone else a chance here. Go ahead.
One that is larger and goes over, it runs a place or something.
Yeah, I think you're right. Allow me to point out, do you think it's a coincidence that I'm bringing up the word denomination as I'm showing you this map? You know what these are? They're denominations. Those are denominations. What's a denomination? I'm giving you examples. What's the definition? Catholic is a denomination. By the way, Catholic is a denomination in the U.S.
Is it a dominant?
A dominant religion. A dominant religion. 1,500. By the way, that's more than any other nation.
So how does it work if a non-denominational religion is the dominant religion?
Right. I'm not sure that exists. That'd be an interesting. That denomination is non-denominational. It's like if Pinocchio said, "This statement I am now uttering is a lie." Okay, did his nose just grow?
No.
Because if it's true, then it's a lie. But if it's a lie, it's not true. You write your thesis on that, Jack. Okay. 22 of the 1,500 largest denominations have memberships of over 1 million people in the U.S. Again, that's more than any other nation on earth. No other nation can say we have 22 denominations, dominant religions, where with a membership of 1 million people across the nation. No other nation can say that. Okay. A good clue about if you're looking at a religious building and saying, I wonder if this is a denomination, is this. Does that building have a primary purpose of serving the religious group? Is it an old religious building? Then that's probably a denomination. If it's a house that happens to have religious services in the basement on weekends, then that's not a denomination. That's something else. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying it's something else. Okay? You were looking at 8 of the 22 largest. Again, just some interesting stuff. According to sociologists, 40% of Americans go once a week. I'm not going to ask this, but how many of you, once a week, with your family, go to some sort of a religious service? Okay, or how many of you are like this? You go on Christmas and on Easter, and that's about it. Maybe Thanksgiving. Okay. Again, you don't need to show your hands, but it's just sort of interesting stuff. So again, the gap: 63% of Americans are church members, but only 40% go. So you join, but you don't bother, right, or something like that. Okay.
How long ago was that survey taken?
Well, this is updated the last census, so 2010. Okay, so a little bit dated. Okay. In the U.S., your well-established membership in these is declining. Fewer and fewer people are leaving the well-established religious organizations, and membership in sects is increasing. And I want to tell you that in the history of ever, this is generally the case. The dominant religions decrease in membership, and the membership in sects increases. When the Roman religion, when the worship of Zeus, the Greek religion, when that was at its peak, it started declining. Meanwhile, Christianity was on the increase. Sect membership always increases. Always increases. Dominant religion generally decreases. Okay? It's just the nature of how religious membership kind of operates. The United States government has counted 417 sects in the U.S., more than any other nation. Frankly, well, let me ask you, why do you think so? Why? I keep saying more than any other nation. Why? Why do we have more denominations than any other nation? Why do we have more sects? That's a tough one. Than any other nation. And why do you think we have more cults than any other nation? Good.
Because we have a lot of people from all around the world in America.
Very good. So it's something about our cultural history. Good. Yeah.
We are also probably the most free country.
Yeah, free country, right? Our government doesn't really care as long as you're not like burning babies or anything.
Pretty much every other nation in the world has had religious requirements at some point, while ours was only for like the first.
Very brief. Yeah. So we sort of have an ingrained culture of tolerance towards religion. Very good. Anybody else? Very good. We'll save this. Okay. So we'll revisit prayer in public schools and all that. So I'm about to be done talking. This class is over, just so you and I are agreeing, at 10:44. So you got like a half hour to work on your cult presentation, work on your religious debate output, whatever that is. And for some of you, come and talk to me about your family and education presentation. Any questions? Nobody has nothing to do. That is not an option. All right.